The first thing you need to do is be safe. Disconnect the appliance or turn off the breaker to avoid electric shock. Hello guys, welcome to DIY Repair Now. Today we're going to be working on a Samsung top load washer. The model number is on the display. And the problem that we have with this washer is that it's always filling in water. It doesn't stop. When it starts filling in water, it keeps running and it keeps throwing water in the tub non-stop. And this is an indication that the water valve is not working right. And it's a simple way to check this because I turn it off, I turned the washer off, and it was still filling in water. I disconnect the washer to eliminate the possibility that the board is still sending power to the water valve. I disconnected from the power and it was still throwing in water without any power. So this is a clear indication. So if you want to go ahead and do this test, go ahead and run the machine, turn off the washer machine, and then go ahead and disconnect it. If it's still filling in water and throwing water in the tub, that means that water valve is damaged and it got stuck on the open position. So the first time I was here doing the diagnostic, it happens, but this can also start doing it intermittently. Sometimes it's gonna stop and sometimes it will not stop. As you see right there,
Okay.
it's still filling in water.
Yeah.
After I close the water valves and after I turn off the washer machine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the washer, and it's still throwing in water in the tub. Now the only way to stop this is by closing the water valves to avoid having a flood and have the tub overfilling. In some cases, the drain pump will kick on and it will start draining the water out to prevent a flood in the house. But in this case, it was still filling in water after the machine was disconnected from the power. Now we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the hot water and cold water lines. And just be prepared for water to spill out because they always drop water on the floor. Now we're gonna go ahead and start removing the screws from this back panel to be able to access to the water valve. After you remove these screws, you're gonna go ahead and grab a putty knife and try to work your way around it. Don't forget these two screws that holds the bottom part of the panel. And just follow the video to be able to do this repair right. Like right there, the screw doesn't want to come out because it's kind of stripped. So I go ahead and put the putty knife underneath the screw and kind of pull it up until it comes out. That's kind of a tip there. If you run in the same situation, make sure the water valves are fine and the washer is disconnected while you do this repair. Now go ahead and walk your way around to remove this back cover. What I do is start to put in a putty knife in this area, and that should get everything loose. If you don't have a putty knife, try to use a flathead screwdriver, but I recommend a putty knife because they are more thin. Now you're gonna go ahead and start disconnecting the terminals from the water valves because this is kind of a quadruple water valve. It's like 4 or 5 water valves in one because it allows the water to go to the bleach, the soap, and also the detergent and things like that. You're gonna see the water valve side by side compared to the old one and the new one. Now remember that it has some connections where it goes to the water hoses, but it's one water hose that is kind of tight on the back, so you have to get that loose. And as you see, that one broke the tip inside because it was kind of hard to get it in place. I'm just gonna leave this part of the video in case you run into the same issue because it's pretty common that this happens. However, you gotta try not let this happen, but if you got very limited space to work with. So if you run in this situation, just do what I'm doing on the video and look for a solution. At this point, I have to go ahead and put a screwdriver, a screw with a screwdriver in the hole to be able to grab the piece that broke inside the as you see, I got it out. So if you're running that situation, then go ahead and do that. But that piece broke from the old water valve. I'll just show in camera the part number of the new water valve. I'm gonna go ahead and put a link on the description of this video if you want this part, whether you want it OEM or you want it get it on Amazon for a third party, generic or aftermarket, however you want to call it. Sometimes these valves are identical, sometimes it's a minor difference, maybe because the manufacturer changed a couple of things like the harnesses, or maybe because it's an aftermarket part and they make it to work with for more than one model. So go ahead and install the hose that goes in the back and secure it with the clamp. Once you start doing this repair, you will see what I'm talking about. I'm sorry if I didn't got that on the video, but you can see it here from the top where I connect that water hose and I secure it with the clamp. The other connections goes straight to a plastic connections, and go ahead and install the 2 Phillips screws that hold the water valve in place. Make sure you secure this water valve really good in here with these 3 screws, because this is what holds the water valve in place to prevent from leaking. Go ahead and connect all your terminals back in the new water valve. And a tip, go ahead and take pictures before you remove all these connections in case the wire gets mixed up. But in this case, I do this repair a lot, so I don't have to do that, but I suggest for you guys to do that. Go ahead and install the back panel, and go ahead and install all the Phillips screws that holds this back panel to make sure it's gonna secure the back panel in place. Here is the video, and you can use this video to be able to do this repair yourself and avoid paying a lot of money for a service technician. Go ahead and install the water valves the way it's supposed to. I noticed that the water hoses was backwards, so the hot side was on the cold side and the cold side was on the hot side and the old water valve. But I'm gonna go ahead and correct that in this new water valve to avoid having a come back under the warranty, so we don't want that to happen. So just go ahead and do like a hand tight with a channel lock pliers, and don't over tighten it because it's a gasket. You don't need to put Teflon or anything like that because it has like a gasket rubber seal inside, but make sure you don't over tight that because you can damage the gasket, and that's going to create another issue where it's going to be leaking water right on the connection in the water hoses and the water valve. Now we're going to go ahead and test it out and open the water valves. And at this point, the machine is just going to go ahead and start doing her thing. It's going to go ahead and start sensing, trying to sense how much clothes you put inside the washer machine. And then it's going to go ahead and start filling in water. At that point, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off and do the same thing that I did at the beginning of the video to be able to complete this repair and see if we're going to be a success in this repair. As you see, it already starts sensing. In a couple seconds, it's going to go ahead and start filling in water. Don't forget to comment in this video because that helps us to make this channel to grow and make more videos for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe as well because we probably make more videos for different appliances for your home in the future. As you see, it's already filling in water.
If this video helped you in any way, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for future videos. Thanks for watching.